Congratulations, you've done it. You found 138 MMA. It's Dana White's Contender Series Week 9 breakdown. Here we're talking about Raul Rosas Jr. taking on Mando Gutierrez. Now in this fight, you hear a lot of fights where there are a clash of styles. This one is not. This should take place on the ground. However, when that happens, a lot of times you then see two grapplers turn into strikers. But based on their previous fights, this should take place on the ground. So let's start with Gutierrez here. He has shown a really good ability to fight through adversity, particularly in that Will Elliott fight. He was cracked, dropped, nearly finished, out-grappled for most of the first round, comes back in that same round and puts it on Elliott with the last little bit of the round there. And I believe he got the finish in that round. So for that fight there, that shows that he can fight through and come back and doesn't just lose his composure when he gets hit, gets hurt. He did that really well in that Will Elliott fight. So watch that one if you wanna see what I'm talking about there. He does seem to have most of his success on the ground though, which typically is good. I put it as a positive here, and typically it's good. This fight, I don't know that that's going to be the case, but I put it as a positive still because he does have that grappling base. He's strong on the ground. That's a good thing. But he was also out-grappled by Mo Miller. Now, Mo Miller is a good grappler, don't get me wrong, but you're fighting a guy here in Rosas, who is, I think that's how you say that, who is really, 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 really strong on the ground. He is super aggressive with his grappling. Goes across the cage, gets that takedown, starts looking for submissions. However, he doesn't give up on the ground and pound when he's chasing the submissions. You'll see him try to work for submissions, throw some punches, throw an elbow here and there, try to work his way through. He's not one of those guys that's just a jiu-jitsu purist that just nothing but submissions. So that's good. Good for him anyway. It's not so good for Gutierrez. And also the decent takedowns. Now, he doesn't have like A-tier takedowns, but they're good. They're solid takedowns. And I say that, I believe he does have a wrestling background in high school. He's probably still in high school. He's 17. Yeah, he's 17. Isn't that crazy? But anyway, so he does have decent takedowns. You don't usually see that out of those lights-out jiu-jitsu guys, which is what I would say he is. He is a lights-out with his jiu-jitsu. Usually you see them try to pull guard or get a trip takedown or whatever. He has wrestling takedowns, and that is good because that's the combination of skills that is underutilized, I believe, in MMA. So for Rosas here, the only drawback I really see is the age. He is only 17. I understand he's been fighting a while now. He is very talented. But I know what I was like at 17. That was a long time ago. But I know that mentally, I could not handle the same amount of adversity or the same amount of pressure or, any of that kind of stuff as I can now. And you might say, oh, well, he's tougher than you. Yeah, probably. The guy's a fighter, a professional fighter at 17. Yeah, he probably is. Big deal. My point, though, is that even if he is a professional fighter at 17, that is a lot of pressure to put on a high school kid. So come at me in the comments if you think I'm being crazy here. But I really do think that is his biggest downfall, is that his age. I still think he gets this one done. I don't know that he's ready to jump into the UFC. I think it might be just a little bit too early. We saw that with Chase Hooper. He came into the UFC, similar kind of skill set, grappling heavy. I will say his striking is better than Hooper's, but we did see that with Chase Hooper where he came into the UFC a little bit too early, was talented, could have been a lot better early on had he just refined a few more things. And I think that's what we're going to get here. I do think he gets this one done. Gutierrez is a solid fighter, don't get me wrong. It's just their strengths match up together as they're both grapplers. And for me, one side is going to be the better grappler, and that's Rosas here. So for me, the pick is Rosas. If it does end up being a striking match, and I'm, we're all going to be surprised by that a little bit. If it does end up being a total striking match, it does get a little bit closer on paper because there's not much to go off of. Neither guy has really had much in the way of pure striking contests. I've seen videos of both of them hitting pads or both of them, doing some striking obviously in their fights, but when it comes to the striking, it's a little bit more of a toss-up. I've never seen Rosas try to do any striking in an MMA fight. It looks like he just takes everybody down right away. I've seen him throw a couple leg kicks, whatever, but he's looking for that takedown from start to finish. That is where his bread gets buttered. That is his best path to victory in pretty much every fight, probably every fight, everyone so far. So again, the pick is Rosas. Gutierrez does stand a chance. He is the more experienced. He is the older fighter, but not to the point that he's old. So he's not washed by any means. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think the age is going to be too much, if you think I am silly for pointing that out and that is not going to be an issue at all, if you think Gutierrez shows better striking than I've noticed and he's going to be able to stuff takedowns, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But like I said, I've given you my pick. It's Rosas. Let me know what you think.